Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Jimmy Matthews and Joe Cerna. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
How
Hey,
you
yo,
doing?
Jimmy,
Good,
this
man.
is Joe Cerna. Damn, my bad. He popped on right as I was getting things started, man.
Oh, good, man. All good.
Okay, no problem. How you doing, Joe?
Good, man. Good, man. How's it going, man?
It's going great.
Happy
Can't
Veterans Day.
complain. Thank you. Thank you for your support, man. Same to you. Happy Veterans
Yeah,
Day.
so I want to say happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. I got two veterans right here joining me, Jimmy Matthews and Joe Cerna. And so you want to start first, Jimmy, and tell the people where you're from and like a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into your military.
Okay. Jimmy Matthews from Lambert, Mississippi, born and raised. Um, Born May 4th, 1976. Joined the military December in 1994. Um, Been all over the world, several different countries.
What
You
year did
asked,
you get deployed?
oh man, I joined the army in '94. My first deployment was in '96. Man, we did a peacekeeping mission in Bosnia. That's where I met. After Bosnia, I met Eli. But yeah, I went to Bosnia in 1996. Stayed over there for 9 months. Um, Next time I went on deployment, it was a short deployment to Kuwait. People don't call it a deployment, but I call it a deployment. I went to Kuwait for like 4 months out in the desert in preparation for Iraq, of course. And my next deployment was in 2003, where my combat deployment. My first one was the Iraq invasion. I did that at Fort Benning, Georgia. Then I
Dude,
went
I
in
think it's me.
2005, and then I went in 2009. And then I did a couple other deployments to Kuwait and stuff like that in between. So
Wow, you did quite a bit, man. Thank
a
you for
little
your
bit,
service, man. You were really putting in work out there.
a little bit.
Yo,
I'm sure there's some guys out there did a lot more, but to me it was a lot.
Jay Webby says, awesome live. Salute to all the veterans, Joe and Jimmy. Thank you to all you've done. Shout out to my dude Staxx. Thank you, man.
Definitely, thank you.
Thank you. All
What
right.
years did you get? You want to do your background, Joe?
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I was off the network. My apologies. Uh, am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Can you hear me? Yeah,
I
I think
think
I lost him.
he froze up. Yeah, I see it froze on him. It's
Yeah.
it's it's in and out.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah. I apologize. Can you guys hear me? I apologize.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Cool. So okay. So, my name's Joe. I'm Joe Cerna, born and raised in California. At a city called Stockton. And then later on, after I started having a family when I was super young, so I was like, cool, I got to do something. And honestly, that's kind of pushed me towards the military when I was like 19, and that was 1995.
Wow, you guys are right
And I
around
did
the
a few
same time
years,
you
and then
went
I was
in.
Yeah.
So where did you go into the where did you go into the army, Joe?
yeah. Okay, so yeah, I went into the army in '95, and I forgot to add that, huh? And I did a few years. I was going to get out. 9/11 happened, and so I kind of changed directions with my career. And I joined the Green Berets, and I did that for the next 14 years. Um, I got a bunch of deployments from '05 to '08. I had a good time doing it. Uh, you guys, I keep falling off and on. I apologize.
Nah, you're good, bro.
I don't know how much you caught on to it. The last part of the thing I was
I
saying is
heard everything.
okay. So yeah, I did a few years down range. I got beat up a few times overseas, and I came back and kind of finished up my career at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, um, with 7 Special Forces, and then and then got out, went back to school, and you know, and a few years later, I ended up coming back to California where I started. So right now I'm in California. Um, you know, help my dad out with the business. See if I'm good at business. I was good at shooting. I don't know if I'm good at business.
Yeah. I got we got Chickatelli joining us.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, gentlemen? What's up, gentlemen? Happy your day there, our day, I guess. Veterans Day. God bless.
Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day. I'm
Do you
a
want to
veteran myself.
explain your background a little bit, Chicky?
You want me to? Can you hear me? Okay, it's clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I wasn't. I can say happily, I wasn't. Unfortunately, I wasn't. Fortunately, I wasn't in any war circumstances like these gentlemen. But I was. I was in the United States Navy. I was 18 years old. I went to boot camp in Chicago, right outside Chicago, Illinois, at the boot camp out there, and went to A school in San Diego. Did very well in A school as a gunner's mate. Um, got to be good friends with a lot of guys in A school. That during A school, they had tryouts for the SEALs. And of course, I mean, I wouldn't even, them guys are serious guys, and whoever even comes close to that is on another level. But I became friends with a lot of these guys that were in A school that did try out for the SEALs, and they got as far as getting over to Coronado Island, where they got in, and they take so little, like these guys would know. They just take such a least amount of guys that try out. These guys are they're incredible. And I became friends with a lot of these guys, and I seen them build within my time in A school. I seen them build huge, get in there and do really well and become SEALs. And after A school, they stayed at Coronado Island, and I got shipped off, which was a blessing for an 18, 19-year-old kid. And I got shipped off to Honolulu, Pearl Harbor, on the USS Cimarron, AO-177 attack tanker. And
what year was that? What year?
This was back in a long time ago. It was back in 1986. 1986, a long time ago. And like I said, no war, thank God. That's why I give nothing but respect to the guys that went through all the wars, whether it be Vietnam, any of the wars, especially the ones in the last 20 years.
Yeah, and, tell them what happened, Chick.
What's that? Oh,
when you were.
So let me start off. Little by little, but so I go to I end up going to Pearl Harbor on my ship. Actually, they after you get out of A school, what they consider Honolulu, like when you go overseas, they give you 30 days home after A school. They usually give you, if it's in the States, it's usually 2 weeks. But because I was going to Honolulu, which they considered, even though it's part of the continental the United States, they still give you 30 days to go home. So I went home from San Diego A school, and I had 30 days. And they said, well, they sent me with my paperwork, with all my stuff home. And they said, listen, you're stationed in Honolulu, Pearl Harbor. They told me the boat and everything, but we're going to have a little problem. And I said, what's that? And they said, well, your ship is out in the Indian Ocean, and you got to meet the ship. So I said, well, what are you talking about? I'm going to meet the ship. So we'll go do your 30 days, go home and go have fun, do your 30 days. And then we're going to let you know by then a series of events that you're going to do. And they can't tell you then because everything's guarded and they don't want to know where the ships are. And my ship was part of the USS Nimitz battle group, which had 3 aircraft carriers. In San Diego, there's 3 stationed aircraft carriers. There was then the Nimitz, I believe it was the Constellation, and another one. And we have probably a couple destroyers with us, a nuclear sub. There's like 10 or 12 ships around us, and we're in the middle of the ships. We carry 5.5 million gallons of JP5 jet fuel, and we're like the Texaco on the Indian Ocean. We refuel the fleet, so they don't have to go into port. We refuel them. Okay, they pull up next to us, underway replenishment, it's called. So only 250 guys on my ship.
So all the boats in your fleet are getting gas from you?
From us.
They're all getting gas from you, right?
Ocean, and they're all coming up next to us. We got a nuclear submarine underwater. Never know where they are, but they're always near us. We had at one time 2 aircraft carriers, close to us. And what it is they used to say that if they and like I said, it wasn't wartime, but you never know with the terrorists and everything. But if they blew our ship up, it would blow up 10 square miles. That's what they predicted back then. And we had the fighter jets. I mean, if anything was, and I'll tell you a story after what I mean by this, but if anybody would have come to our, near our ship, or they wouldn't even have got close, but they would send the jets off the carriers to go, to these ships that are identified, and if they didn't answer enough, after a certain amount of times, the jets would just wipe the ships out, because they ain't getting nowhere near us, especially with all the ships around us. They had all different kinds of ships, So, and we had a couple Coast Guard ships with us, a whole crew of ships. So, I'm trying to think where I want to go with this. Okay, so anyways, they tell me, okay, after my vacation, I get a call like a week before. It's going on my third month, and they say, okay, here's your what you're gonna do. They gave me all the tickets and everything. They said you're gonna fly from Bradley International Airport in Hartford, right outside Hartford, Connecticut, where I live, Springfield, Mass. And you're gonna fly to, I think it was San Francisco, Alameda, out that area. So they flew me to San Francisco, which is like a 7-8 hour flight. Then I flew over the ocean from San Francisco. I landed in Honolulu. I think it's roughly, if I'm thinking right, another 5 hours over the ocean, maybe 4 hours. They land there. Now keep in mind all the time differences. Okay, it's like crazy time differences. When you get to Hawaii, I think it's 6 or 7 hours from Massachusetts. 2 or 3 from California, anyways. And then I think I'm going to get to Pearl Harbor, and there's, maybe I'll get to hang out, go to the beach, wait for my ship. No, it don't work that way. I'm going from Honolulu, they're flying me to Guam. Now I'll meet my ship in Guam. Okay, that's another 8 hours. Plus Guam, it's a 12-hour time difference. So from when I left to the time I got to Guam, plus the time difference, it's like I've been gone 3 days, and I don't even know. And it's crazy.
You have no clue what day it is, right?
I didn't know what my name was. Okay. So they picked me up at the Guam airport, a little airport. I swear to you, it was like something out of a movie, like just some tar, a little building. It was crazy. I'm a 19-year-old kid. I'm wet behind the ears. I don't know what's going on. So they pick me up and they bring me to this, place, all kinds of security checks. They bring me in, and there's this first time I ever saw a U.S. naval ship. It's my ship with the oil alone. It's got a superstructure. It's as high as an aircraft carrier. It's all fuel, like I said, all fuel tanks. It's a size probably, it's as big as an aircraft carrier. When we were next to an aircraft carrier, our superstructure was right the same as theirs. That's how tall and how big it is. But instead of having nets, I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're like little cities, man. You got probably like,
forget it.
Yeah, you got to feed everybody and everything. You got
right. The difference is on an aircraft carrier, they have 5,500 people. Okay. Yeah. All kinds of elevation systems where they're bringing up the helos, the F-16s, all these different. I mean, it's incredible. They could put 96, 97 jets on the top at any time and bring them right down. They had 5,500 on these aircraft carriers next to us. We're the same size as them, and we had 350 people. Okay, so that goes to show you 98% of my ship, except for the superstructure. Okay, the berthing and the living conditions, the living quarters, it's all tanks. It's all tanks.
It's all fuel. Yeah,
it's all fuel. So and we had a crew of out of the 340 something guys on my ship, they had a SEAL team that were designated just to my ship. Okay, something like 12 guys, and it's incredible. One's like a doctor. They all are experts in guns and hand-to-hand. I mean, but each got their own thing. They're all got the same thing as far as hand-to-hand combat, guns. They got a sniper. They got a doctor, and they all come as a crew. We had one crew assigned to us because, obviously we're serious. They never wanted to let us know where we were. We couldn't, back then there was no cell phones. So it wasn't, back then, it wasn't like you were calling home, guess where I am? No, that didn't happen. You couldn't tell nobody where you were, and you couldn't tell them when you were coming to the port. And yeah, cut me off when you want, but I could keep going and tell you some funny things. But hey, I mean, forget it. These guys will spring up when I say a couple of the names of places we went, and they'll be like, "Oh boy, we heard about that." But you just got to picture a 19-year-old kid. So let me just quickly finish it, and you guys, I love to hear you guys' stories. But so here's the thing I want to tell you. So I meet the ship in Guam. I meet the ship in Guam, and we leave it like 2 days later. We're gone. So the guys in the ship, they're like, nice to meet you, blah blah. Take you in, nice guys. And the ship is like crazy. Walking down little hallways and upstairs, and it's all like different. I couldn't believe it. So they give me my little rack, my little berthing. They bring me down the berthing. I get a rack. I open up the rack. They show me all these different things. This is the all these different names I didn't know about. So the guy goes, well, listen. This guy comes up to me. He's a big shot. He goes, hey, I think he was a lieutenant commander. He goes, Chickatelli. He goes, boy, you made lucky this one. And I go, what are you talking about, sir? And he goes, well, guess where our next stop is? And I said, I don't know where. He said, well, we just left Guam. I go, yeah. He goes, well, we're going to go about 6 days in the ocean, and we're going to the next duty stop that men in the military dream of, and you're going to get it your first stop. But where's this, sir? He goes, Subic Bay, the Philippines, okay? Olongapo City, okay? Put it this way. They closed it. It was so bad that back in the day, President Reagan's wife closed the base because she said, there's so many clean military people there, and back in the day, it's a craziest city. I'll give you a couple stories, and then you can't believe what goes on there. So we pull up, all the ships come in at once. There's probably like within a 30-day period, we pull in like a week and a half later. There's about 8 or 10 ships that pull in at once. One aircraft carrier, us, and a ton of little ships like freights and destroyers. So there's probably within a 1 month period, there's about, I'm going to say 30 to 40,000 Marine sailors coming in this port. Now, what I didn't know is this port, the women from up in the woods and up from all these little cities in Manila and all
they all come out.
All come to this city because remember, they're only working this 1 month a year. This is when the fleet's in. Okay. So they come down and they're in their prettiest dresses. We pulled up, coming into the port, right? And there's fences along the whole perimeter of the base. And there was, I'm not exaggerating. If you know anybody that's around my age that was in the Olongapo City in the Philippines, they'll tell you. And then I went to Bangkok. I could keep going and going. Thousands, I tell you, thousands of women, thousands in dresses, American flags, okay, and waiting for our ship to pull in, right? All of our ships. And by the ships pull in, it takes maybe a day or two before everybody's, everything's moored and you're all secure and people got to do their duty. But guys start going out and they got guys that went in the Indian Ocean got thousands of dollars of uncut checks, uncashed checks, because they're ready to have a ball. They've been on the Indian Ocean, and, it's just
these dudes are gonna leave with a bunch of burning.
Well, let me tell you, and we had all the classes the week we were going out there. The week it took to get there, we had more classes by all the health people. Listen, showing pictures. Don't do this. Don't do this. This is called the black clap. They're showing crazy things because, come on, if you got a brain in your head, you got to be smart. Some of these guys were like hillbillies from the Utah, and them are the worst ones. Yahoo! And they're off and running. I'm telling you, it's crazy, right? So we all go into town, and it's this one strip, maybe like 2 miles long, and there's got to be 500 bars on one side. And when I say 500, you're going to think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. There's 500 bars on a 2 mile race one way, another couple hundred on the other way. Bar after bar after bar after bar, filled with thousands of women. All, and you know how, like, you ever see these, this is going to sound crazy, but do you ever see like these rock stars have these concerts where 80,000 people come and like they're all looking at the guy like he's the meat, he's the one, and you're going, wow, what a feeling that must be. Picture walking in one of these bars in your military outfit, and the girls are looking at you like you're some rock star, right? And this is what they're thinking. It's crazy, but you know why they're looking at you that way. They don't have no jobs, they don't have no money. They're dying to have these military guys hang out with them and drink and dance, and
because they think they'll probably get the one that will take them back to the U.S. with them, right?
Take them away, but
have you guys dealt with that too, Jimmy and Joe?
Please let them tell me.
Yeah, definitely. I've been like I said, Germany, Korea. I've been to Hawaii.
I've been to Korea too.
Same thing.
Yeah, Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, so here it is, fam. I wasn't lucky enough to have all those girls on my. I was in the base. I was in the base in the middle of Afghanistan. It's a true story. Because I owe child support nowadays for it.
I hear you.
We're gonna change it up. No, this is a true story. This is a true story. So I'm like, it's cool. It's not a cool combat story, but okay. And so what I'm gonna say is we were doing a hit. We want to say hit. We were doing a mission in Afghanistan. This is about 2006. So we were doing a hit, and we hit this one compound, and it's a love story. Remember that? So, and so we did this one hit, and let me back up a little bit, real quick. It fits the story. So, on a base, dude, as soon as I tell the story, it cuts off, huh?
No, we're still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Eli Hawkins joined us.
All right. So
Eli, what's up, my man?
What's up?
Yo, what's going on? What's up, Chicky?
What's up, my pal?
What's up, Jimmy?
What's up,
So
man?
what happened, Joe? Finish the story, man.
All right. So we spin up the couple Blackhawks, and we hit this compound, and we're going grenades. We're going grenades, and we end up clearing this compound. So now it's our time to come back. And the base I was at, we had not one female, right? It was a bunch of dudes. It's a small base. That's how we operate. And so on the way back from that one compound, that one hit we did, right before we got the helicopter, Frank gets hit in the stomach with an AK round. He goes down. And so we pick him up, we put him back on the helicopter, and so we fly back, and it's a 5-minute shot. We shoot straight to the house. We call it NAP, nearest as possible. Right tough. We were hauling ass to get my friend to the hospital, and the hospital is on our base. It's a real small place, and as soon as it touches down, I jump in the helicopter, grab my buddy. I see this person come the helicopter, my helicopter, with hose, right? Like they're giving us gas. And so I tell my partner, I said, man, that person got a bun on their head, right? And I can't see because it's like 2 a.m, nothing but dust. And I'm like, man, I swear that's some dust. I swear that's a bun on their head. Because ain't no girls come out here, right? So this is the base where I'm at. And so I tell my friend, we're pulling my friend off. He got shot. We're pulling him off. I say, hey, man, run him to the hospital. We'll go talk to this person real quick, right? And so they grab my boy and they run him to the hospital, which is on the base. And I go to the girl and I kind of like, it wasn't a girl. I don't know who it was. But she had goggles on. I'm like, I kind of whistle like, I'm like, what are you doing here? And then she started like, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is a girl. I love my veteran women. And so we link up, and she was a military service member as well. Shout out to Rosia Serna, even though you don't like me. She's we met in Afghanistan. We have 3 babies together. And so
It was a love story, man, right?
It was a love story, bro. It was a love story. But that's the woman.
You came back, had a couple of kids?
I came back and had a few. And so I used to joke with her all the time, because like a lot of service members, when they go overseas, and my man can tell you guys, they go to different ports, they go to different countries, and they meet different people, like Korea, Germany. They meet different women, right? So I used to tell everybody that I met somebody over there, in Afghanistan. She was an American. Anyway, that's I guess that's what I got to add to that. So
Good one, man. So, Dickie, what ended up happening with the chicks, man, when you guys rolled in there?
I mean, is this PG-13 audience? I mean, I'm not going to get into too much, but I mean, and Eli, please. I mean, you've been in the military. You've been in different ports. I mean, I was back in the late 80s. So I mean, back then, it was a crazy. I mean, and I was in all over the bank, Thailand, the Philippines, Guam, Korea, all over China. But the one that stood out for me, I was telling the guys before this was that we were in the Philippines, Longapo City, right? And I can honestly say if anybody ever wonder what hell's like. This is probably the closest thing to hell that you would ever be in. I mean, what goes on in these places, it's not even normal. It's not even normal. I mean, I'm not going to get into too much, but you're talking 20s of thousands of Marines, military, SEALs, all these different people that are affiliated with all this, with the USS Nimitz battle group. And they're all there for 30 days. We're there 30 days. And we're out in the Indian Ocean. So everybody's got thousands and thousands of dollars put away because there's nothing to spend money. And when you're on a ship in the Indian Ocean for 101 days straight, there's no money there's nothing to spend. They got a little ship store.
Everyone's stacking their money.
Right? Right. You got a ton of money. And you're, like I said, you're going hard. I mean, a lot of guys are, and then, it is. But I mean, just craziness, girls and bars. And it's a real thing. They call it, I'm not going to get into it, but it's called the Donkey Show, where there's donkeys involved. I mean, it's crazy. People, and this is, I'm not exaggerating. That's anybody that's been to the Subic Bay, Philippines.
I believe it.
They closed the base because it was so bad. Okay. Matter of fact, maybe 20 years ago, 60 Minutes did a story on this base. And there was so many, which is sad. There was so many half American kids left there because the guy, right? And every year a different battle group. And unfortunately, they get these girls, Filipino girls, pregnant. And within the period, whatever they did, and then the ships would all say, "See you later." And
and they just leave.
They would leave, and a lot of these girls, you're talking to me, them need that's much testosterone, and them guys, a lot of these girls are getting pregnant with these kids that they couldn't even afford themselves, and it got to be such a huge, big thing that I remember the president. I'm trying to think if it was Nancy Reagan or was it? Yeah, no, I think it was Nancy Reagan. Was back in the day because Reagan, when I was in Bethesda Hospital, when I got hurt for a year. President Reagan flew in on a helicopter because remember he had cancer of the nose or something like a
yeah.
I was on that base when they flew in two same exact presidential helicopters, same exact armored limos with all CIA guys. And what they did is they would land one plane on one side of the base, one on the other, and they would do the exact same thing. So you didn't know which one was the real president. They had a body double. You understand?
Yeah, body double.
Right. So if you were looking to plan to do something, it was a 50-shot shot. You didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm sorry about that. So, So, anyways, I was at the Naval Hospital. I'm just making a point. That was shut down in Subic Bay, Philippines. That's how bad it was, and this was a long time ago. And anyways, that's what I was saying. 60 Minutes did a show on it of all these American kids left behind. And it just was crazy. It was a crazy time. 30 days, and I'll be honest with you, I couldn't wait to die. It was that crazy, and we got out of it. Just was absolutely crazy. A ship could go in and buy a bar. When I say buy a bar, it's for the night. So you could go in and buy a bar, cheap money. I think everybody could put the in a hat. Buy the bar to the bar food, all the bar food.
Your phone's cutting out, bro. Your phone's cutting out bad.
Me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I could hear you now.
I'm sorry. So what I meant to say is, anyways, you could buy. They used to let you buy a bar. Every ship had a different night where they bought a bar, booze, all the women, like dancing and all that, and then everything. It just was crazy. It was another time. I don't think they do that no more. Not around there. I think that base is definitely shut down. But like I said, it was just a crazy time.
I think the military is good because it's like, especially for young kids, because the travel behind it.
Unbelievable.
You get experience a bunch. You're gonna take the good with the bad and get in trouble. I'm like, on a ship, I don't know. Is there such thing as the brig? Because I don't.
Oh yeah, they have. Well, they have you got to understand, they have padded rooms because there was guys that listen, they were on the ship and you're out in the ocean 101 days. It's like, I hate to say it. Don't get me wrong. In a Navy ship, you eat great because the food's incredible. It's incredible on a ship. Shrimp.
Have you ever seen anyone get arrested on the ship before?
Yeah, but you know what they do? Unless it's like, if it's something like real bad, which I never heard of, but like if it's something you kill somebody on a ship or something, believe me, they'll have people fly out in helo and get you out of there. But if it's just like a fight or something, they got padded rooms. They'll put you for a couple of days, and then when you get into whatever port you're going to, then the shore patrol, from that base will come out, and whatever military base, whatever country you're going to, will take care of it. But
What about drugs? Have you ever seen anyone get in trouble for selling drugs on there?
No, never. Me, never. There was never. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was a couple of guys that would smoke pot here and there, but they did the testing on them, and then they would lose their rank. I mean, I remember one guy just from smoking pot. He went down. He was like an E6, and they dropped him back to like an E4 just for a very small of marijuana in his blood.
They would still do that today, right?
Oh, I don't know today. It's been a long time, but I'm sure even though it's legal, all over the country, I don't think it's, militaries, they got their own set of rules. They ain't put that legal to their people. Maybe these guys know better than me.
Yeah, it's not.
What do you think, Jimmy?
Far as what? The drugs or?
Yeah, like weed and people smoking weed. Can you smoke weed in the military?
Nah.
No, right?
Yeah, they still got it off.
It's acceptable a lot of places,
Yeah, but the military,
Uncle Sam has no set of rules.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
Yeah.
Yeah, zero tolerance.
I don't think
people get busted for that stuff, and then there were people get caught, for selling drugs and shit on the face there. I remember a few times people got busted up and shit. Jimmy, remember that shit?
Yeah, they get busted, but like he said, he was just asking were they legal. So yeah, you're gonna have your hot heads that's gonna try to bend the rules. So
what would they sneak drugs on the base and try to sell drugs like corner to the market?
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was the thing on the base that kind of going on. But mostly it'd be after a long weekend or something. You have a long weekend, that first formation, drug test, you gotta drop.
Yeah, that's what they make you come back, right? Make you take all urine.
Hey,
you went home to go see your boys or something like that. That's when everybody really would get hit up, So it's just kind of weird, for the people that still got caught doing it. Like, they're gonna fuck. It's a long weekend. They're gonna test you. Like, don't do this shit.
But you know what's crazy? Out of all that, though, the biggest career killer is DUIs.
DUIs?
That's bad.
Why? Are you allowed to drive while you're on base?
No, not only that.
You have your car.
You have your own vehicle. You have your own vehicle.
Yeah, but do you mean DUIs like the military vehicle? Like they're driving the military vehicle and they'll catch a DUI?
No, their own vehicles. It'll be like off duty, like after work or something like that, or over the weekend on a day off. Right.
Say off and you get a DUI like okay, so you got the base and then you got the towns next to you and whatnot. You got the clubs and the towns next to you. You go out to some club or something like that off base. You catch a DUI on the way back to the base or some shit, or just even if you went home for a long weekend or something like that, you caught a DUI back home. They find out you're in the military, they report the shit to your company commander, you're done,
Yeah. And they'll strip your rank. The military takes over. The military courts take over too, and they'll strip your rank. They ain't no joke. A guy who built a lot of years building up a rank. I mean, like anything, like testing for drugs, anything with alcohol, like you said, a lot of things. They'll strip your rank.
Yeah, like that's your whole life, right? If they strip your rank, it's kind of like people in the mob when they shelf you.
Yeah.
You had to go there, Staxx?
Yeah,
We watched a few in our day. Remember, I don't, should I say his name, Jimmy? I don't know if I want to bear folks like that.
Who's that?
Remember your boy Emerson when he got hit?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you talking about the altercation when you slid him across the table?
No, that was Jimmy. That was Jimmy's dresser and all his pictures and shit. But no, there was one of the guys in our company, man. He ended up getting a DUI when we went to Kuwait. And, I think they waited till we got back before they busted them down.
You know what's crazy
I
though?
think so.
If you get a DUI by the other government, like say you're in like Korea, maybe you guys could also, if somebody gets in trouble for drinking, the U.S. will grab you, snatch you, put them in their custody before the other guys take them.
Oh, if you're in a different country, the U.S. won't let the other people mess with you, or
No, the U.S. will take care of themselves. So if you get some serious trouble, like some serious allegations, in the long, government's gonna, if their government,
Yeah.
whatever reason hinge you, and our government will take us and they'll move us to U.S. control before they do something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you seen what other big situations have you seen, Chicky, on the ship that you were on?
Well, let me say, first of all, I want to say, I wasn't at wartime like these gentlemen on here. And I give them, listen, I give anybody credit that was in the military, retired, in the military, still in, weekend warriors, whatever. But these guys here, I mean, Eli, these guys here were serious guys. I mean, these guys here, you see even Eli's videos, the other gentlemen out here. I mean, they were they were in the forefront. I mean, I'm proud of being in the military when I was, but it wasn't wartime. To be honest with you, except for doing ops and practicing. I mean, I was eating shrimp cocktail in the mess hall. I'm proud of that service. We just weren't at wartime. You understand? These
Yeah.
here in a whole nother level. I mean, I really appreciate the honor to be with these guys tonight. Just because it's because today it is what it is. But like I said, these guys were serious guys. Like I said, I wasn't at war, and you can laugh. But I mean, we were doing our thing, and we were ready. If anything happened, we were ready. Believe me, we were daily training. We were ready.
You still went through a lot of shit in the
Yeah, I mean, I got retired for life. I got hurt. I mean, that's a whole other thing. But I got hurt. I got retired for life because of a stupid thing, and it is what it is. But like I said, either way, you get hurt, whether it's wartime or not. And the veterans really, they took care of me. And I know a lot of guys that got hurt, and they take care of them. And I know these guys must know a ton of friends that got hurt when their war situation, because I mean, there was everything going on all the time and bombs, and it was just crazy. So I give a lot of respect to these guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
So,
Likewise.
does anyone want to talk about any situations that pop into mind?
I could tell you a fun fact that you'll think is cool, and you can Google it. We were in Guam, and we were leaving Guam, and we were about 3 miles off the coast of Guam. And I was way up, in the brig, way up at the top with the captain. All the big shots were up there. And like I said, I had just came and met the ship. We were going to Subic Bay, the Philippines, and they used to have nowadays with the computers, it's a lot different, but they used to have a thing called an echo. It was an echo chamber, an echogram. But what they used to do is it used to measure how deep the ocean was. And they would send the signal to the bottom of the ocean. Now the computer, it's incredible what they used to have. I can't even imagine, but they would send it to the bottom of the ocean, and it would bounce off the floor of the ocean and come back, and they would tell you how deep the water was.
Yeah.
The cap was, and at the time, I was E3, so they would call me.
Hold on, wait a minute. Chicky, you're cutting out a little bit, man. I can't follow what you're saying. I want to hear what you're saying there.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I can hear. I can hear you guys great. Let me do this. Hold on. All right.
Right there. Right, whatever you're doing right there. Right
okay.
There,
so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he sends an echo, whatever the name it was. It's so long, but echo card or something. It goes down, and nothing comes back. Nothing comes back. So the captain on the ship is kind of busting me, but he's saying, "What would you do in this situation?" I said, "Well, I would think right away. There's a computer error. Something's wrong. It's got to come back. There's an end to where we are. They do it again." So I did it again. Whoop! I sent it down. Nothing comes back. I go, "This is great." So what would you do? And I don't know what to do. I mean, I went to school for a lot of stuff, but I never came across this. This is why they got used this opportunity to show me. Make a long story short, he shows me on the plotting of the ocean. You can go on Google, YouTube, there's shows about it. It was right off the coast of Guam, and it's called Mary Ann's Trench. Mary Ann's Trench, I think it's called. Maybe I'm off by the word.
What is it? Mary Ann's French? What?
Mary Ann's Trench.
Mary Ann's Trench.
Trench. Mary Ann's Trench. Mary Ann's Trench, I think. So, anyways,
It's called.
what is it?
It's Mary.
I'm sorry. Right. I know I might have been off a couple
Mariana
of
Trench.
times. But anyways, the reason there was no thing that came back, it's the deepest part of the ocean in the world, on the planet. It's something like I'm going to say, I think it's roughly 8.5 miles, 8.5 miles deep.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like 7 or 8 miles deep. So there was, now today they got the computers, they probably can go down to anything. But this was
it's like bigger than Mount Everest, I think.
This is the only place on the earth, in the world, in the bottom of the ocean that could not be measured back in the late 80s. Now obviously they got so much incredible stuff, the satellites can do it. But it just figured it would be a cool thing to tell you. It amazed me. It amazed me. And that was just one thing, like I said, leaving Guam that, I saw.
Shit, that's got to be crazy being in, even being underneath in the ship, man.
Oh,
it's got to be crazy under there.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Listen, I got to give a lot of shout out to anybody, and you got to go to psychological classes. Anybody that's in the submarines, in port, in Pearl Harbor, I went on a tour of the USS America, I believe the name of it was. It was a submarine. It was only out of the water by just the superstructure. The thing was in the water. And we took a tour of it. And let me tell you something. Them guys, they've got to respect. You got to respect guys like that. You got to respect guys like that. They seem these guys to be underwater. And sometimes I heard as much as this is what I heard. I heard as much as 4 to 6 months at a time underwater without coming out. I out of the water for I think 6 months. But 4 to 6 months underwater. And when you're underwater, you ain't telling the captain. They got padded in here. I can tell the captain, I'm freaking out. I got to get in. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, man. I get claustrophobic. Being in a prison cell, I'm like, When I was in prison, man.
Staxx, picture being underwater. Prison, you can get out to a yard once in a while. Underwater.
No, not where I was, man. They keep you in that little cell. You could touch each wall, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Let me ask you this, Chicky. Is it true?
Yeah,
is it true that they don't give the guys on the submarines the location of where they're going to be at and whatnot because they can't tell their family members or any type of stuff or whatever? Because matter of fact, the people in the submarine don't even know where they're at as far as the location goes.
Yo, he said people even on the boats, Eli,
Listen,
they don't tell them.
100%. A matter of fact, I even think to this day when now cell phones. Keep in mind when I was in, there was no cell phones. Nowadays, the satellites, people can jump on cell phones anywhere. Guess where we are? Whatever. No, I think when they're out in missions or they're out in the ocean, they have a blocker in the. They only allow it like sometimes during Sunday afternoon or something, but they actually shut off the thing for cell phones where you can't make a call out because they don't want telling anybody, friends, family, or girl, hey, we just left San Diego, we're on the way so-and-so. They don't want nothing out there. So that's 100% true. And like I said, when I was in, there was no cell phone. So, and here's another thing that I saw personally, not my own feeling, but guys I talked to, I didn't see it personally, they told me, guys were underwater missions, okay? 4 months, whatever it was, in a long period of time. 8 family members died. Well, they didn't even know until they came up and the funeral was over by 2 months.
Yeah, you said the funeral's over and their family member died and they were gone underwater and they have no clue.
They won't let the guy under the subs know, right? They won't let you know if you're underwater in a major thing. They will not let you know because you'll crack up. Imagine knowing, God forbid, somebody in your family passed and they got you in the underwater and you're not coming up.
You can't go home.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
That's crazy to be underwater like that at that length of time. No sun, no nothing, just trapped. I would go fucking nuts.
It's crazy. That's what I said. Them guys there.
Chicky,
other
even when
level.
you're on the boat, you're underwater, right? Like when
Well,
you're
no.
at
Listen.
the bottom of the boat.
Oh yeah, when you're sleeping, the berthings. The only people above water in their berthings are staterooms. Are all the big shots, the captains, lieutenant commanders,
Yeah.
lieutenants, the ensigns. The ones that are going to be lieutenants. All the captains. Let me tell you, by E7, E8, they're all above. Anybody E6 or under, E6 and under, they're all below deck in the water, and you hear that rudder going all night. Dun, 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 rudder. Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And then you got to walk up. There's no elevators. It ain't like you're on the what's that boat? You take an elevator to the different decks. You're going up to little hall base, little steps, running up it.
Is it hot under there?
It's air and stuff. It does get hot. And but it's pretty good. There's people got to live down there. Like I said, I was very lucky because I was on a huge, like I said, the size of a field. Almost.
Shit's breaking up, man. I can't even understand you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I said I was on a huge boat with only 450 people. We were as big as a carrier, and a carrier has 5,500.
What's up, Joe?
Did Joe say something?
Joe, what's up, man?
I was gonna say, so I was can you hear me?
You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up, bro.
But no, but like shit, man, you could be off like the Horn of Africa and never even know it.
Yeah.
You'll never know where you're at, like for the 4 or 5 months.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I would go crazy. I thought I would go crazy inside of a tank, but yeah.
Yeah, he was in a tank,
water.
man. That's got to be crazy too. Like, yo, you're smelling all them fumes and shit all day long, right?
Well,
Yeah,
at least with a ship, I'm sorry, at least with a ship, you can come up on the deck. Like if the only time you can't come out on the deck of a ship is at night. You can't come out the deck of the ship. You can't break there's like I forgot the name. It's been so long, but it's like they call it blackout. Your ship's blacked out at night. And even with all the doors in the ship, there's always like you got to go through like a little maze to get out. So if they do open a door, because in the ocean, a light from a ship, like a door light or whatever, you don't know how far that goes across the ocean. So if there's ships way in the distance and they're looking for ships, they call it blackout. And then at night you black out where you can't come out on the deck. And not only that, but we're in the Indian Ocean, okay? People don't understand. There's 30-foot swells. 30-foot swells. Can you imagine going and saying, "Let me go have a seat on the deck," and a 30-foot wave hits the boat, flies off the thing? Who's gonna find you? They didn't know you're. Who's gonna find you?
Have you heard stories of people flying off the side of the boat?
Well, I haven't saw it, but I did hear. Well, prior to me getting on my ship, there was a guy on my ship. We were refueling one of the aircraft carriers out of San Diego, and I wasn't on a carrier, so I don't know the exact names of the things. But so the thing, it's called a shot pull. It pulls the F-16 jets like 100 miles an hour it catches them and it pulls them to get them off the ship fast enough so they can get in the air. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's like a catapult.
What's it called?
It's like a catapult.
A catapult. Well, I guess one of the aviation, they call them an aviation boatswain's mate. They're on the deck of the ship. They're the ones that, hook up to the, the jets. They bring them down. They bring them up. They're the ones, if you see on Top Gun, where the lieutenant is driving the F-16 or F-14, whatever they are, and they like kneel down, and then they look at the lieutenant about to take off, and they give him the salute sign, and the lieutenant salutes him and goes, boom, takes off the ship.
Yeah.
And well, I guess a guy's foot got caught on that catapult, and it catapulted him right off the ship deck of the ship. I didn't see it. One of my guys that I was trying to say actually hit him flying off the ship. And they saved him. The poor guy. They saved him.
Oh, they saved him?
Yeah, they saved him. Yeah, they have a whole thing where
if someone goes overboard, they probably have a protocol for if someone goes overboard, right? Of
course, yes. But I didn't see it. I just was told it. It shot him off like Superman. Thank God he lived. It's great, but things like happen all the time. I'm sure these guys in the war, they were in the war. They must have saw things crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
you see some crazy stuff. Brains, brain matter,
Oh,
blood.
you guys,
Or
crazy.
you're driving down. Do you see like vehicles with bodies in them and stuff like that?
Yeah, you would get out and actually inspect them. Like when you have night missions and you destroy a lot of stuff. Then the next day, when all the dust settles, you go take. I had tons of pictures, but I lost them. But yeah, you would see a lot of stuff, a lot of carnage, burned bodies, stuff like that. So yeah.
Hey, how did you deal? How did you deal with it? I always wondered this, and I thank God I was never in a position. How did you deal with the little kids? Like, you know how they used to tell you when you first got there, and then when you guys got a grip on it, you still had to worry. The little kids coming up to you, and like you didn't know whether they should get close to you. You don't know whether to embrace them because they could have been, how they,
Yeah.
put bombs on them. You know what I'm saying?
You had your protocols, you had your areas of responsibility, right? So once you, of course, when we first got there, we was on our, you know, we was vigilant.
Right.
Nobody came close, and then you just had to build that relationship like any other type of mission, And then we started to learn that, the good from the bad, and then you still had to always be vigilant. They can turn at any moment. So we learned that just giving out toys to them is like everything. They didn't have much. Third world countries, soccer ball. They love soccer. We love football, baseball, but overseas they love soccer. So we would bring them toys and come to find out, they would kind of let us know what the enemy was up to. Um, so we would have a certain day where we would go and meet with the leaders of the villages, and if things were bad, you wouldn't see any kids out playing because they knew when the bad guy was around if he planted bombs. So if we saw that, we were aware, knowing not to go to the village at that time. So the kids were. It was kind of like you said, like you want to be friendly with them, but then you just had to watch your back as well because you had to get home to your family. But the Taliban or the enemy would use the kids, once they saw what we were doing, because they were watching us at all time.
Of course.
And then that's when they would, use the kids as weapons as well. So you just had to be on your toes at all times. It was kind of crazy, man. Especially if you had kids,
Of course.
Yeah.
Because us as and all over the world they have great fathers, but us, especially as Americans, and we have kids, our first thing is to run up to a kid in need and help and say, "Hey,
Right.
I help you, pick them up." But like you guys were right in the front row. I mean, you couldn't do
Exactly.
it. That's what would kill. You couldn't do it because, like I said before, you guys would run up to a kid and pick him up. He was pretending he was hurt, and next thing you know, you and your a bunch of your guys are laying. You know what I mean?
Right, because you got them kid out there as well. Just like here in America, you got your bad kids that don't mind doing harm to. They're just out in the streets. They don't have parents. So, hey, here's $5. Grab this AK, go shoot the Americans, or strap this bomb to you. They believe in they believe in their higher power. You're gonna go see Allah.
Yeah.
If you have a belief, somebody tell you to go strap a bomb to you, you still gonna have you're like, man, you crazy as hell.
Absolutely.
But over there, man, they believe in going to see Allah, so they're gonna do it. So you just got to be aware of the culture over there. And
Hey, can I ask you guys' opinion? Is Eli still on is still in?
Yeah.
I'm on there. Yeah. When you joking around and you say you the bomb, that's a whole different meaning over there.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
You the
pretty
bomb,
much.
You the bomb.
Exactly.
Eli, who's that? Did Eli say that about the bomb?
Yeah.
We used to say that on my Navy boat too, but it wasn't as serious as you guys. If the lobster was good that night, we used to say this is a bomb. No, but that was a whole other thing. This is a serious thing. Let me ask you. Can I ask you guys all, Eli too? I want to ask all you guys your opinion. I watched the show. What's going on for the last 3-4 months with Biden, and they're asking Bush questions. I mean, I'm sorry, Bush, Trump. What I want to ask you, what do you think about this? And it bothers me, but maybe I don't know, so you guys can enlighten me. What do you think about these big military guys that make hard decisions for us, leaving brand new tanks, $10 million tanks, all these brand new equipment, leaving them in Kuwait and leaving them all over the place, wherever these wars were. They're leaving brand new stuff, saying it costs more money to bring it home to leave it.
Hold on. You're kind of breaking up a little bit. I got the gist of your question, but can you repeat it again?
Yeah, I wanted your opinion because Trump was so against it. He's going, when he heard the head military guy, one of Biden's guys, say it's cheaper to leave this $10 million tanks and all this equipment in these war zones rather than go and take it out. And Trump had said in a show when he heard this military guy for Biden say that, he was like dumbfounded, like completely lost all respect for the guy to even say that. But what is did you guys see a lot of like stuff being left there when you were pulling out? Like it's expensive everything?
It's true. It is cheaper, but it depends on what you're talking about as far as cost goes. Shit that just happened over there when we just pulled out Afghanistan the way we did. I mean, they got all kinds of.
We could have destroyed everything before we left. We could have destroyed it, right?
They got all kinds of new. Well, listen, they got all kinds of new equipment and all this type of stuff right now. The best. They got the best of everything right now. So I don't think it's cheaper at this point because now you're fighting yourself basically. They got all the state of the art equipment, and now we have some shit with them again. We gotta be bad. We gotta battle ourselves again like that,
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion on that is that was bullshit. What just recently happened. I'm not a fan of it. I'm really bothered and upset that we handled that situation the way we did. I just did one deployment though, and it wasn't even really that serious. But Jimmy would probably know more about that. He's done a lot of deployments. So he's seen a lot of, and he's been at the, like you're talking about, like the E8. He's the first sergeant E8. He retired as an E8 there. So he's been part of a lot of operations and whatnot, and a lot of the staging processes as far as logistics go. He'd probably be a better person to ask about that because I just did one deployment, but just being aware of this type of thing with the equipment that we have and whatnot, and all these new shit, all these new biometrics, weapons and this and the other, just to leave that type of stuff over there. You just basically gave somebody basically a brand new military with shit that they normally wouldn't be able to get their hands on. I mean, we handed it to them, and then you wonder why, or you wonder how some of these countries that have the capabilities that they have that they never should have.
Well, I can just speak for. I know the tanks that we give them they're not exactly like ours. They don't have that protective titanium, all the top secret stuff that we have. They don't put that in those tanks. Okay, we're trying to build a relationship. So I've never been to Afghanistan, but I have been a part of in Iraq where we give the Iraqis equipment. And of course, it's not the exact same as what we have. So they don't have that precise capability. But I think if I'm not mistaken, they was trying to equip them to protect themselves. So the media is going to make it seem as if we just left this equipment over there. Of course, once we left, of course, they didn't have a plan. We had to pull out regardless. I mean, it was about time. 20 years. If you're not able to protect your country after 20 years, then, we can't, of course, we got to take care of America ourselves. America's fucked up. So we need to get up out of there. We need to take care of our veterans and stuff like that. So I would say it was about time. But yeah, they should have had a better plan, but it didn't happen. Somebody had to grab their balls and say, hey, we got to get the hell out of there.
And then all the people they left there, all the Americans that are trapped there, and they're executing them.
Right. That's why I said they didn't have a plan. Yeah, I don't agree with that. They should have at least focused more on getting the people out rather than focus on the equipment. Because, of course, we're America. We're the strongest military in the world. So if we got to go against them, I'm sure we'll fuck them up. Of course, people going to die behind it. But that's war. That's just part of war. So it's been going on since the beginning of the time. But
You know, I don't. Sorry, guys, for cutting out. So I'm trying to play catch up. Just saying, but I do understand when we say leaving. I I didn't see any. I didn't experience we leave American equipment, but I did see nothing but Russian tanks.
Yeah, he just cut out.
Yeah, the Russian. Well, of course, they always had their Russian tanks because they got all that stuff from Russia. And probably when they was in a war with Russia, once they beat
Yeah,
Russia's ass, they kept their shit.
they just took over whatever
Yeah,
weapons they could fight with, right?
right. It's like a bad marriage, man. You've been in it for 20 years, shit ain't working. Somebody got to fucking pull the plug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, people's lives are at stake. People gonna have their differences, but if you wasn't over there dealing with that stuff, then no matter what you do, man, you could be helping a homeless person walk across the street. Somebody gonna have a opposition about opposed to it. You know what I'm saying? You
Of
could be
course, man.
you could think you're doing a great thing, but somebody say, "Oh well, you should have grabbed his right hand because his left hand was fucking broken." Like I'm still helping him across the street, but somebody gonna find something bad about it, you know. So
I get it all the time, man.
yeah,
I get it all
you
the time.
can't please everybody. So you just gotta have somebody with some balls and say, take responsibility. That's what I'll say, you know.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I just want to say again, I want to reiterate what I was saying as far as like Fly and all the guys are on the panel tonight. I'm honored to be here tonight with you guys because, like I said, I was lucky enough, back not to be at war, not to be on the front lines, and there's a lot of guys that were fortunate like me that wasn't in the wartime like you guys. Because when you guys hit the ground running, the beginning, I mean, it was no joke, and right to the guys you guys pulled out. I mean, you guys could have lost your life at any day, and I was blessed enough not to be in that kind of predicament. So I just want to let you guys know it's an honor to be with you guys today of your caliber. Let me be on the board with you.
Yeah,
I like to look
and
at,
what?
I was thinking about this too the other day, man. I was like, but that's just by chance, It's not like anybody chose to, be in the middle of some shit or chose not to be, You were there at the place of time, whatever was going on was going on. Had something been going on, you would have been in it too. If nothing was going on, I wouldn't have been in anything. Whatnot, it just happens to be the time of the world or whatever you have to be in,
Yeah.
And if something was going on at that time, you would have rose. You would have rose to the occasion. Everybody would rise to the occasion for the most part. Just happens to be what's going on at that time.
Yeah, what I say to people about saying that they didn't go to combat. I mean, your life was at stake just training. You could die training, getting ready to go to war, and you can die just as well as somebody in combat. So I had a lot of friends that die in training accidents, training to go to war. Shit, like you said, somebody get killed in a DUI, just like Eli said, just wrong place, wrong time, right place, right time. We all had a part in it. Everybody's part played an important role.
Yeah.
I just look at it like this: like you are. Here's the thing: you raise your hand, you raise your hand to put on the uniform, and wear the flag on your back. That's all it needs to be, man. Because I do get a lot of people where they're like, oh, I didn't get a chance to go to combat or whatever. And it's like, we think, they think they missed out on something. I'm like, you didn't miss out on shit,
Yeah, they didn't miss out on that.
You should be happy about that, but you don't know what you don't know, So it's like, but here's the thing. What if the cost of knowing it is your life? That's, so people can look at things in a certain way, like, oh, it's been all the glory to do this and have this and been able to talk about this and the other, but what if the cost of it was your life? Then what was it worth? Then how cool was it? And it's not that, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, I had a lot of people like talk to me like, oh man, or people like, oh, I want to join the military, this, that, and other. I'd be like, that's honorable, and I can respect that, but I feel for myself personally, I feel if you have an opportunity to do something with yourself, it doesn't require you to have to go in and sign up. I would say that's a better move, because I would say most people, don't get me wrong, we all have some type of, once you're in and you've done what you've done, we do have a sense of patriotism and this, that, and the other, but for the most part, man, people are just selfish human beings. We do things out of our own personal reasons for the most part, when it comes down to it. So a lot of people I know do have, like, there might be a couple different parts to why somebody joined, but a lot, there's a good probably portion of like, oh, I joined because I just wanted like the family tradition or.
Well, you see all those videos
footage.
online. Why'd you join the army? Why'd you join the army? Everyone says, I don't know. What the fuck? I don't know. I fucked up. I didn't want to do this.
Yeah, a lot of them don't know.
Right.
It'll be like, oh, I joined for. I mean, that's why they give incentives, right? I mean, if it was so cool and this, that, and the other, it's like, I mean, it's weird. I hate to say it like this. I mean, it is a quid pro quo situation. You do for me, I do for you, and it's almost like a what's it called? It's almost like a bribe. It's almost like a bribe or something. Do this for me, and I'll do this for you. I'll give you X amount of dollars to go do this. If you make it out, you'll get this.
Yo, have you? I think I've asked you guys this question before individually at some point, but have you guys seen people that were trying to like hurt themselves to get out of going into combat or anything like that? Like where they hurt themselves to try to go home?
I haven't personally seen it, but I've heard stories about them. Or
Jay, now wait a minute, Jay. You're forgetting the situation, man.
oh yeah, I'm old, man. I forget a lot of stuff.
Well, I'm not gonna bring up no. I'm not gonna bring up any names. I'm not name dropping. That's not right to do. But I remember, man, that first one that we did when we went to Kuwait. That dude then broke his hand or his arm or whatever like that on purpose.
He broke his own hand.
Oh, I don't remember that one. I'm old, man. I forget. Not saying it didn't happen, but
more people do shit like this. They'll intentionally wet the bed.
Intentionally wet the bed.
You know that movie? What you guys are talking about brings me to that movie. Remember years ago they had the movie, I believe it was Platoon, where they're all in Vietnam and the guy's spraying bug repellent on his feet. Was that Platoon or was that a Full Metal Jacket? When the guy, no, I think it's Platoon. He's spraying bug stuff on his feet.
Yeah.
And one of his commanders said, they put him in his position, but they're in Vietnam. I mean, it's a whole nother ballgame. But you remember that when he was spraying bug repellent on his feet?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that was Platoon.
Was that Platoon with what was his name? William Defoe. At the end, and they left him because the guy tried to kill him and he was living. Was that Platoon?
Yeah, Tom Berenger went off.
That Tom Berenger was a nut. Yeah. No, that's what it reminded me of.
You know what? I've never seen. Honestly, I've never seen anybody like get out of something like kind of their service. However, I did use their heart kind of in battle, where you're like you push somebody, and then as soon as probably the real world, the real world.
Like they present like I'm this big tough guy, and then when the battle comes on, they get all scared.
It may be one event. It may be and they kind of like their own. I mean, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I see that quite a bit though. Like they don't try to get out of it. They finish it, I guess.
Or to try to hide behind other people.
Finish it. I'll tell you a funny story in boot camp. Right out of high school, they send us to Great Lakes, Illinois, outside Chicago. Great Lakes boot camp, a male boot camp. only. There was all male boot camps, but then there was 2 women boot camps and then men boot camps. So I was at the male boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois, about 45 minutes outside Chicago. And we pull up. I'll never forget it. A Wednesday night, January 26th. February 26th, 1986. It's 3 o'clock in the morning after going in the plane. We go to Lakes, Illinois boot camp. We're in a big bus, and there's got to be probably maybe 60, 70 of us. 3 o'clock in the morning, pouring rain. It's the most coldest weather in Illinois I experienced in my life. So we pull up, the door opens, and here comes and if you want to know it, which a lot of people do know it, the military, the Navy owns the Marines, or it gets the way. But the Marines work with the Navy. The Marines are a part of the Navy, back and forth. So a lot of the Marines drill instructors.
You're breaking up a little bit, bro.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
A lot of the Marine drill instructors are with the Navy guys. They're with Navy people and themselves. They both do it to the Navy recruits. So I can remember the door open. We're all sitting there, little kids wet behind the ear. They come on and they're going, they start their craziness. Come on, get off the, they have a big show, right? And then they utilize you. And I'll never forget, we're all sitting there like dumbfounded, and all at once we're all thinking to ourselves, into, because it's the first 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, from the front, I hear a kid scream, I made a mistake. I got to go home. And the whole place started laughing. We couldn't help it. And they brutalized this kid. Let me tell you something. What they did to this kid, you can believe, the drill instructor. What? So if you guys know my house, I made a mistake. And we were dying. But there are people like, before he even walked in boot camp, he was tapped. So
yeah, I would probably say that you saw the most of that stuff where people were really looking to get. So, they fake like they're crazy. We had one guy. That's one thing that I do remember real well is in my basic training. We had one guy that just would not stop pissing the bed. And,
Pissed in the bed, you said, right?
Yeah, he was wet. He was wet in the bed. On purpose. This guy was completely normal. He finally be like, yeah, I'm just trying to get out of here, man. I made a mistake. Blah blah blah.
Did it work?
And the other thing, yeah, the guy. Well, here's the thing. Here's the real crazy thing with military, right? Like, say you make a mistake and you want to stay in there or something like that, your ass gets chaptered out. Like when you're a fuck up or something like that, and you're trying to get out, man, it takes forever to get your ass out of there. It's like the opposite. Like,
I was just going to say that it's if you go crazy in there, like you're saying this kid did, and what I'm saying, they don't just put you on a plane the next week and say, okay, you're in there longer than you would have been if you just went with your company and
just did your own thing.
Went through the process, right?
Yeah.
They keep you in there for an extra 6 months before it ain't like you're the next week. Oh, I got him. I'm on my way home. Oh no, you're gonna play gas places. They don't believe me. You know how many people would be doing that if it was that easy?
Yo, don't they have like a work camp there too? Like where they make you work?
Some places,
I don't know about that, but I know they got camps where they'll bring you, and it's not a work camp, but they will get you. They will make you get your shit in order if you're like not doing what you're supposed to just to get out. Believe me.
They'll recycle you through.
They'll put you in the brig, man. The brig is like prison there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's if you go. What was it called? I'm trying to think. It was so long ago. What was it? Where you're authorized with absence. What's that called? AUI. AWOL. Yeah. But there was another 3-letter thing for it where, guys would try to run and jump the fence, and if they catch you with that, then it's more than just going 6 months recycling. You're going, like I said, you got big problems if you escape, like you get out of boot camp and try to escape.
I would say.
I can't hear you, Eli. Eli, your connection is terrible, bro. Eli. It's like nails on a chalkboard, bro.
Yeah, I would say I was fortunate enough, I would say, during the invasion of Iraq. Is that mine or is that?
I don't know. Whose is that?
That's not mine.
Hold on, let me check. Nope. It's I don't know.
Some kind of background.
I don't know, man.
What about now? Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
Am I okay, Staxx? It ain't me.
Yeah.
I know it ain't me.
No, it's not you. Yours is clear. It's good now, but I don't hear it. But I was fortunate enough to be in 3rd Brigade, 3rd ID, man. We trained so long. We trained for like 9 months in Kuwait. We trained before that day, night, in all kind of conditions to make sure that everybody was ready, man. So I don't think nobody was scared. You know, it was just we trained so long for this. We were ready for war. You know, it was like, come on, send me to war because shit, we've been training for 9 months in Kuwait. We've been training at Fort Benning. We've been training at Fort Stewart. So just send me to war. So I don't think nobody pushed out. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, they're all like itching to go, right?
Right. So they brought us back home from Kuwait about a month or two before we went. They sent us back. So they gave us time with our family before we went to war. So we were like, man, let's go. You know, they're taking care of us. So let's just do it. So we went to Iraq. And right before the president announced that we were going to war, you know, we did a little training, making sure our individual weapons was ready. And when he said, you know, gave Saddam 48 hours, we were ready, man. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't feel scared. I'm sure I was, but I don't remember a moment being
the
scared.
Excitement, right? The excitement of everything.
You just ready to get it over with. And I don't think my crew was scared. We was, you know, just, I don't know if it was a mental thing, but we were just ready to go, just get it over with. And we, you know, we knew the history about when, you know, 72 hours when they went to the Gulf War, it took 72 hours to do it. But we rolled for like 21 days, man. I remember 7 days at a time, I would change my underwear. I had basketball shorts. So the first 7 days, I would change my shorts. Next 7 days, I changed. Then the last, I changed. And then we were pretty much done. So it took us like 21 days to get from Kuwait to Baghdad. And I don't remember being scared, man. I'm sure I was.
When you guys are driving and stuff, where do you sleep? In the tank or under it? Or like...
It depends on the area and the enemy situation. We mostly slept on top. Got your sleeping bag out, little thin cushion pads, probably about like prison, if not, if not a little thicker. But yeah, we would sleep on top of the tank, man, and then we would have at least 25% security, like at least 2 people. Well, 50% because it's 4
rotate,
people in the tank.
Like
rotate. Yeah, but rotate security, and that was it, man. We would do missions at night. Like they would have a curfew in these towns. Like nobody, when nightfall, nobody moved. So we would set
now,
up.
Who makes that? Who makes up that rule? The U.S. government,
right?
Or...
The government. The government, like, hey, nobody moves because that's how we identify the enemy at night. So they didn't have night capability. We owned the night. So,
but now they do. Now they got it.
Yeah, now they got it. But like I said, it's not nowhere near what we have. You know, they probably don't even know how to operate the shit as much as they should. But you would set up these blocking positions at night and nothing moves. Anything moved was considered enemy. I don't give a shit. But they would drop these pamphlets in the city like, hey, 6 o'clock curfew, anything moves at night, considered enemy. But you think about a city that's probably a bit like a big city in Connecticut or New York, everybody doesn't get the pamphlet. So you got people in the villages that, you know, they know a war is going on, and some don't know the war is going on. But okay, we're just gonna come out at night, sneak out, get some maybe food for our family. And it's innocent people, you know, they don't know any better.
But they say you're gonna shoot anybody that's out.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But just say you didn't get the pamphlet, you didn't get the message, and you going out at night. So when we see something moving, our orders are to shoot anything that's out at night that moves is enemy.
And basically, you got to follow your orders, and that's it, right?
You got to follow your orders, man. So, like I said, you just shoot, pray about it. The next day, when daylight comes, you know it's identified as enemy, or you be like, oh shit, man, it's like some guy trying to go feed his kids or some shit. You know, he's in just regular clothes. You know.
Have you seen that? Have you seen
that's
that?
that's what I'm saying. We
yeah.
When we go check out the carnage the next day, it's like this wasn't. You know, he's not in military uniform, or he or she, or it's a family in a car. So yeah, it was pretty unfortunate situation. So it fucks with you mentally. That's why a lot of guys are fucked up, and they don't like to talk about it because you just think you sit at home at night and you think like, man, that's a fucked up situation.
It's a job you have to do, man. You know?
It's a job, so you kind of caught in the middle. You just following orders. So yeah, that's some of the kind of fucked up things I've seen.
Like you were saying earlier about being ready. Like back in back in the day when I was without being war, we never knew when we used to do the ops and the bells would go off and stuff. We never knew it could have been real every single time. So we were always ready as well. That's why we said that it kind of because we were ready.
Right.
7 days a week. Anything would have happened, we were ready. And we used to do ops on a weekly basis where we really didn't know it could be. We acted like it was real.
Right.
In, oh my God, a chemical warfare, and we'd have to suit up, and I mean they didn't say, oh, by the way, this is just a test.
Yeah.
We went full board until the end, and then you'd hear another signal, and you would know that's the end of the drill. But if you didn't get that signal, it wasn't a drill.
Right.
I can remember
going for a blast.
Yeah, we could, like I said, the same thing like you said. Our war could have started back when I was in. Thank God it didn't. But if it did, it did. We were ready. I mean, we were ready to go, and we used to bring like I said, on my ship, we had a SEAL team, which I respected them. I became friends with them. We used to go out, hang around.
How many people were on that team, Chicky?
12 guys. 12 guys were part of the SEAL team. And then they had this team was 12. I don't know what I mean, I don't know how it works, but they had 12 guys. And they had a captain, a couple lieutenants, a lieutenant commander. But like I said, one guy's a doctor. They got a sniper. I mean, I don't know if all of them are the same, but on our ship, the team had like a doctor, a sniper, all of the guys were incredible with, hand-to-hand combat, whatever they were, all the different fighting techniques. They're just incredible.
Self-sufficient team.
Right, exactly. And let me tell you, I seen one thing that I couldn't believe one day. So I happened to be on duty on the boat that day, and we were out in the Indian Ocean. And I'm telling you, we had to be 600, 700, 800 miles off the coast of any land. I'm talking 700, 800 miles in the middle of the Indian Ocean, in the middle of nowhere. And we would stop the boat, right? And they would have another like a 25-foot boat. We would take off the side, and we had to. It was, and I was on the boat. I just happened to go on the boat with another guy, and all I was like a taxi. I was driving the SEAL team, not part of any mission, nothing like that. All I was instructed was I had to drive the SEAL team about 2 miles away from our boat, the USS Cimarron in the Indian Ocean, and leave them there. This is what I was
leave them in the middle of the ocean.
Leave them with 25-foot swells, and they got their packs. They got these like suitcases that when they open them up, they come into these floating devices. Listen, I'm going out there and I'm saying to these guys, we're talking. I got to know them. We went out drinking. When we were in port, we'd have fun, and they became friends. But they were in a league of their own. They were in a league of their own. So I can remember going about a mile, 2 miles. I don't know what it was. Me and another guy. All we had to do was drop them off and come back to the ship. Okay. So I'm saying to the guys, are you really serious, or is this a joke? Are we leaving you in the ocean? We're leaving them in the ocean. So we brought them out, good distance. They start going backwards off the ship. I mean, not a ship. It was a boat, 25-foot boat. They're going backwards. Boom, boom, boom. They're all disappearing. And they're bringing their equipment. They're throwing their bags and equipment. And the equipment's landing next to them. And then I said, are you serious? We're turning around and leaving them. And they're floating away. So we go back to the boat. Now, at the time, I don't know. I'm figuring 2 hours. They're calling me. Come on, go get it. These guys are up, right? We end up staying there. So maybe like I don't know what they did. You know, it's their own thing. They were doing their ops with their people. I don't know. If the other boats went out and met them. So never forget. 3 days, 4 days later, we don't hear nothing from these. And I'm asking guys, how come these guys come back? Did they go on another boat? Did they whatever? I mean, are they okay? No,
Yeah.
nothing. So one day we're on boats.
You're breaking up.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Nah, a little bit.
I can't. You sure it's me?
There's a lot.
You're sure it's me?
I think it's the feedback off of Eli's phone.
Yeah, I think he's on still, but
Yo, I'm gonna mute your mic while he talks. All right, Eli.
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
All right, good. Go.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, 3-4 days goes by. I don't even know what it is. So I'm on the top bridge. It's a superstructure, probably 7 stories high, and I'm up on the bridge on duty with binoculars because it don't matter what rank, it don't matter what gunner's mate, whatever you are. When it's duty time, you got binoculars and you're looking 360 around the ship on each bridge of the ship. So it's like, I don't know. I had the night shift. They used to do 4 hours intervals. It was midnight to 4 in the morning, and we're out, and it's like raining, and it's like the rains, the wind's blowing it. And it's like, you know, it's just crazy. You got your pea coat on, your hat, your gloves, and you got binoculars. And it's like 3 in the morning, quiet, you know, all lights out, blacked out ship. And all we're doing is with binoculars looking as far as the binoculars can show into black, because all it is black, but you're looking for any kind of light, another ship. You know what I mean? That's what you're looking for, any kind of light off any other ship. So as I'm standing there, I'm hearing noises, but I said, I'm cracking up. You know, there's wind. I'm thinking I'm hearing things. All of a sudden, one guy's on one side of the ship, I'm on the other side. Then there's a guy in the front. They call it aft and the bow and aft. And next thing you know, I'm watching, you know, the black ocean. All of a sudden, I feel somebody behind me. God's honest truth. Couldn't make this up. Somebody behind me put their arm around my neck and bring me down to the ground with a fake, whatever it was, a prop, like a gun to my head. Do you know it was the SEALs? Our SEALs came back 3 or 4 days later in the middle of the night to see if they could infiltrate our ship in the middle of the night, like if it was a terrorist or something, right? Do you know we got so tortured because they did it? They climbed up the side of the ship, they got on our ship, and they got up to the superstructure. If it was in real life, they would have took me into custody, the captain, they would own the ship. We got so abused. We had the next morning because they did was, you know, pretty much what, you know, come on, who would ever think they could do something like this, right?
SEALs are bad, man.
And they took the ship. They took the ship, and it was part of an exercise that I didn't even think they were coming home. So I mean, it was their exercise to take our ship.
That's crazy, man.
I got nothing but respect for them guys. Coronado Island. They all went to a year boot camp in Coronado Island, and then they would get into their various teams. Like I said, I don't know the specifics of it because I never was them. I could never be them. And I just, like I said, I became friendly with them. And I'm telling you, to this day, I don't know what technology they got today. It's many, many years later, 2000 going to be 22. But these, don't let no one fool you. And I know there's other special forces that are serious too, and I respect them very much. But from what I've seen firsthand, the SEALs are serious guys. You know?
Oh yeah.
So, and like I said, there's probably
man.
other branches that have serious Rangers. This one, the Army has all different things, and they all are serious. But from me personally, firsthand seeing it, the SEALs are something that you got to see to believe, and that's all. You know, that's all I can say as far as what I seen.
Yeah, man. But yo, this has been great. I gotta jet because I got things to do, and
well, good. Thank you for all you guys. Thank you. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for joining me, man. I appreciate
Absolutely.
both of you guys, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for your services,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you guys back on, and whenever. And you guys want to give anyone a shout out before we go, real quick?
Yeah, I just want to send a shout out to all my dear friends. We got some good projects coming up. Hungry Hill, great organized crime drama series based on true events out of Springfield, Mass. It's coming up soon. My friend Damon Yeoman Trites, Brian Hoyle, big things coming, all positive, trying to lay some groundwork for some good stuff. None of the craziness no more, and everything positive, a good attitude, and we're moving forward.
Definitely.
All right, just want to give a shout out to my family, my friends, all the veterans out there. Happy Veterans Day. Walkforvets.org. Check us out. Walking across the United States, raising awareness to all the challenges that veterans are facing today. And we'll see you on Battleground.
Thank you, man. And I want to give a shout out to Eli and Joe Cerna, man. The connection was bad, but I'll definitely have you guys all back on again. And it's been a great night. And make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time, man. Thank you, man.